Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Sunday Night Live. I'm just going to get myself lined up, find this on the computer. Welcome to Sunday night, 22nd of October. My name is Kelley Farley. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in Karaka, Auckland. And tonight we are going to be making something that I was inspired by after watching Dawn Griffith. I quite like her. She's an American demonstrator. So when you open it, this little one tucks behind. It's like a gatefold with a front on it, but you actually have two pieces, and then it's got some windows on the side there. So that tucks nicely into it, which is a nice, something a little bit different, I thought. So I've done this one using the paper, which I haven't used yet, Garden Walk, which is a 6x6 DSP. So it's got lots of florals, and then the other side is lots of plain patterns. So what I thought, I was going to do this one because I kind of forgot that it was Sunday. We've been doing a whole lot of tidying up and decluttering and actually sitting watching TV. So I thought I would show you. I'm going to use the other side of this is quite a nice. Good evening, Alison. The other side of this paper is quite a pretty. It'll be a poppy parade in two different shades with a stripe. So there's some really nice ones that would actually be, if you are a Christmas card maker, you could use for Christmas cards as well. Or if you're not a Christmas card maker, then there's some really nice florals that you can use for making cards or mats or boxes or whatever you like. So I thought we would start by, and sorry I didn't put the measurements up because I was running a bit late, and I haven't actually checked. Oh yeah, that's fine. So we've got a piece of cardstock that is cut at 5.5 deep, which is slightly shorter than our standard card size. We're usually 5 7/8, so it's a good, just over 1/4 of an inch shorter, but that's going to make the scoring and things a whole lot easier. And then we've got 10.5, so it uses a good chunk of your, so this is the A4, it takes the, so you use a good chunk of A4 on it. Okay, so if we get our thing out of the way, and we're going to pop this in at 1 3/4. Let me just make sure I've got that correct. 1 3/4, yep. So 1 3/4, and we're just going to score across here. And then we're going to go to 3.5. Score there. And then you could flip it and do the same thing, or you can go to 7. Score. And 8 3/4. Okay, so then we don't need the extendable ruler. Now what you've got is 4 score lines evenly on each end, okay? Hopefully. Just looks a bit off. Oh no. Okay, so what you're going to do now is you're going to pop your paper in with the short side against. You'll see how your 2 bars go. Well, it's nice of you to pop in, Andrea. Thank you. So we're going to put our 5.5 inch side against the side of the trimmer because we want to cut along this part here. I'm going to pop our. We want to cut at 1 inch. So I'm using this side of the trimmer, the narrower side of the trimmer, because I have a bit more of a grip with this larger piece over here. So we're essentially going to cut at 1 inch between these 2 score lines and then these 2 score lines. Okay, so that was 1 3/4, although you could just use your just use the marking on your blade and just go between those score lines, lift it, and then come back to, it's going to turn my light up, I think. Yeah. So we're going to pop it back down there and across. Okay, so you've got two, mine's going a little bit far, but it's not going to matter. You've got two score coming down, and then you're going to rotate it at 180 degrees, and you're going to do the same thing on the other side. All right, so this is on the far end. We're going to go between those two score lines, and then back up to the 3.5 and 1 3/4. All right. So you essentially have that. So you've got like a little pocket there and a little pocket there. Oh, Andrea. Oh, you're so committed to the cause, Andrea. I so appreciate it. Thank you. All right. So our next cut is going to be in between these score lines on our center line. Okay. So we're going to pop that in at our 3.5. If you want to make sure you've got it correct. Otherwise, if you've got your score mark facing down, it'll sit quite nicely in the groove there. But it is 3.5. And then you're going to come to that cut line and then come up to that next cut line. All right. Now, if you're a little bit hesitant and you haven't gone all the way, that's fine. You can just grab your snips. But so that's what you're going to end up with. All right. And so you're going to do the same on this side. So you're going to rotate it around, pop your, it's the two center lines. You're not watching, well, thank you for watching, Maureen. It's nice to have you there. So we're going to come into our 1 inch there. So we get it lined up on that center line. Hopefully. I just feel like I just cut it in the wrong place there, but nope, you go. And then again, if you haven't managed to connect it, wiggle it, or so I'll put it to the side for now. So that's what our card base looks like. All right. Now, what we're going to do is we want to keep this as flat as possible. So we're going to, I'm sure you can watch it later, Andrea. Just enjoy your holiday. So we're going to score those marks. Now the flat, we want to keep as flat as possible. All right. You're going to cover it, so it's not going to matter. But, you know, just makes things a little bit easier for yourself. All right. So we've got our two pieces like that, and we've got our windows cut out so they open. Yes, definitely warmer in the camper, I'm sure. So we just want to make sure that all of our score lines are folded. So we've got a mountain valley, and then we've got a valley mountain, so it's the opposite. And then the right hand side is going to tuck in behind the left hand side, and it's going to close. Just like that. All right. So I'm just going to reinforce those score lines. I might have gone a little bit too far over on that one, but that's okay. Yeah, I have. I've just gone a little bit too far over there. I saw you swimming, Alison. To be fair, it was quite warm up here. I'm just going to try and trim off that little bit there that I've gone a little bit far over with. Just that little tiny sliver, and then that should be right. All right, so that's maybe not. My blade might need changing actually. I think that's my problem. I'm just going to get some snips. There we go. I think it's my blade. All right, so what we're going to do is we need two pieces of just, well, you can use designer series paper, you can use, you can just stamp. So the one that I watched, she just stamped all the way around, because then you have a panel that goes over here. So I want to use this stamp set. So I don't want to stamp that all the way around the outside. I want to use that. You could set up some words but I'm going to use some designer series paper. So I've got this part here is 1 3/4, so we need 2 pieces at 1 3/4, and I like a small margin. So if it was 1 3/4, I'm going to come in an 1/8, so that makes it 1 5/8, 1 5/8. So I'm going to cut that, which if you're doing centimeters is about 4.2. So 1 7/8. There's 2 of those, and then it's 5.5. Our card's 5.5 tall, so I'm going to go to 5.5 and then come up 1/8 of an inch, which makes it 5 3/8. So I'm just going to cut off that little tiny bit there, get rid of that, and then we should have our 2 pieces. Now this is garden green on cherry cobbler, so quite a nice, it balances quite nicely, I thought. If you wanted to, you could cut a piece to put here, or you could cut your bigger piece. That is a tough call, isn't it? So I need this bit here now. Well, I won't be offended, Andrea, if you 3.5. If you end up with disappearing and going and watching your movie, because that's what you're supposed to do when you're away on holiday, is just chill out and relax. So it's 3.5. So your other piece you want to have, I've kept the same margin. So it's 5 3/8 by 3 3/8, and that's going to go on our middle piece. See, this locks quite nicely. It's quite a nice little card, actually. Locks in there quite nicely. So this is going to go in here. It's just got a very narrow margin, and then we're going to need some panels for the outside, and I'm going to go with garden green because that's what our paper is. So no, I need so it's 3 by 3 3/4. No, 3 3/8. Actually, that was a bit narrow, so I'm going to go 3.5 and just see how that goes. Oh, I love cross stitch. I haven't done it for so long. No, it's not right. So 3 3/8. So 3 by 3 3/8. So that should be right. And then we've got a piece of white. Now you could have both bits on this one. I've got white on that one. You could leave it plain if you wanted to. So that one will be, let's just cut it in half. So if it's 3 3/8, it will be 3.5. So actually I could go this way. No, I got the wrong piece. I cut one too small. 3.5. Oh, well, that's a nice way of doing it, though. Is just when you're away. Two 2 7/8. All right, so let me go over that for you. So our centerpiece is 5 3/8, so that's going to go in here. You can stamp on it if you want to. You could leave it, if you want to, you could make that shorter so it's the same width as your panels on the side there. So you have that bit there exposed. Up to you. So many different ways you can do it. So we'll pop that in between our score marks. Get a nice even border at the top and the bottom. Then what we're going to do is we've got our 2 pieces of designer series paper. Now I'm using this side because we're going for a bit of a Christmassy theme. And I don't think it's going to matter, but I can line up my diagonal lines. So if you can, then why not? There like that. Then this piece is going to go, now I like to have it so that I can see it. So it's going to go here, like that. That piece is 3 by 3 3/8. And then you've got 2 of those, and then the next piece is not the right size. What did I do there? What is that? 3 1/2. Should be 3 1/4. So 3 1/4 by 2 7/8 is what it should be. I went to 3 1/2. Okay, so 2 of those. So if this is 3 1/2, that's 3 5/8 by 3, and that's the same. It's just going to have that really thin border, which will just offset it against the. So before I pop that on, get all this stuff out of the way. Now, when I was watching it, I've glued mine both down to on the flap bit and the front panel. When Dawn did it, she just glued on this panel here and left it. I don't actually see the point, so I'm going to do one today. I'm going to do this one like that, so we're just going to glue on here, so we can see what the difference is, because you might prefer that. See, this is why you shouldn't do that. Okay, I have to wait for that to dry because I put it on the wrong way. Around the wrong way. I was like, that should fit in there. But I put it on. Yeah. Okay, so that's going to go there. And we're going to do some stamping on here. And I want to stamp. Now, I think my little giraffe is going to be too big. He's super cute. You know what would be super cute? Sorry, I just had a thought. And hopefully, it'll be like the time. We have got a bit of time. Hopefully this works. So we're going to pop it here like this. Cut edges the right way. That way. And I'm just going to get a piece of washi tape on the back. Line them up. Like so. My big block. And I'm going to use my blends to colour this in, so I might not get this completely finished. I don't want you sitting there watching me colour. It's not that exciting. So okay, there, right across the middle, like so. He's got his sleigh on one half and the rhino is on the other half. And then what I want to do is use Merry Christmas. And we're going to use these two. Merry Christmas, and let's use some cherry gobbler. Oh, I need to find somewhere to put my cards because every time I go to get ink, I have to move them. Andrew, you're the only one that's popped in a card for the last 2 days, 2 sessions. So congratulations, you win again. I don't need to spin the wheel, but thank you very much for always participating and sharing. It's great. Thank you. All right, so let's go Mary here and Merry Christmas. Some old stamp pads, the old shape. So let me just put those over there so I can clean them. And then I'm going to use lens markers. Don't actually have those 2 colours, so I'm going to use the colour of the rhino's grey. Let's go with a grey. I liked, if you haven't seen these, I have only just started using them. But what I like to do is, sorry about my head, come in. What I'm going to do is yeah, my head is in the way, sorry. So you paint them like a paintbrush. And the nice thing about these is that if you colour over, it doesn't streak. They are a bit more expensive and you can't buy them as a pack. You have to buy them, you get them as a set of 2. Oh, Maureen, I didn't realise you had COVID. Look after yourself. Sorry to hear that. I hope you're getting the same treatment that you gave your darling husband when he had it. He's looking after you. Let us know if you need anything, okay? And then just around the outlines, I will do the darker, and then we just come over with the lighter one again, and that just blends it, but it gives it a nice kind of depth across there. Then you just wait for it to process. He is. Oh, good. All right, you take care of yourself. Thank you for popping in. Okay. So let's go green. Green box. Green wreath. Now these do bleed, so if you haven't used them before, your first time, you want to make sure that you don't go too far over the edge, because it will bleed out through the. So there's a bullet point end for those smaller parts. So something like this I actually tend to use the bullet point for rather than the brush. And again, you don't want to press too hard so that your nibs last a bit longer. Well, let's go with, don't get very many Christmassy colours. What's that? Berry Burst. And let's do our last one with the Berry Burst. So you can see that one is not as well used, so it is a lot finer. So you just got to be careful with making sure that you so each set that you get a light and a dark. All right, so you actually don't need, and it's pretty much all the colours, so you can colour coordinate them really well, just the same as all of our other products colour coordinate super well. Bird, yellow bird, why not? And they've got little earmuffs on. Super cute. And scarves. Now, I haven't got a very good storage system for these, so that's why I keep putting them back in the plastic bags, but we do have storage kits that go with the stamp. The same system as our stamp pads do. Going to leave his skates white, and then just like that. That was a super quick effort. Thank you for sticking with me, ladies. Back so I don't lose anything. So currently mine are just sitting in a basket. It's important that they lay flat. Alright, so this one, I was leaving it up, wasn't I? That way. If I go that way, then I can stick that down to it. Oh, thanks, Alison. It's always hard because I have to get so close to it when it's got small bits, and they are small bits. So now all I'm going to do is just take, one of the things with the blends is this is the thick cardstock, so it doesn't have a magic side if you use a blend, because it goes through to the other side quite easily. I haven't had it come through onto my desk, but it definitely comes through. That would be tragic. I just thought, oh my god, did I put it the right way? I think also the blends make the colouring a bit easier, because you don't have to worry about streaks and things like that like you do with the markers. I like the markers because you can colour on stamps and do multicoloured stamps, but I also like, now that I've got some, I've used them a couple of times at events, but not had my own. So he looks like he's a little bit lonely. Maybe we'll put some gems. And then when you open it up, it sits like that, and then it will open. So your Mary sits on top of your Christmas, and then there's the thanks one. So there you go. 2 different ways of using the same paper, non-specific Christmas paper that you can then turn into a Christmas card if you want to. All right. Thank you very much for staying with me. Thank you, Andrea, for persevering with your arm extended to get your Wi-Fi. And Alison, as always, thank you very much for staying with me. I appreciate your support. All right. I am going to leave it there, dead on 8 o'clock. I hope that you enjoy your extra day off if you have a day off, or just enjoy whatever you've got planned for the Monday of your Labour weekend. Awesome. Thanks, Alice, Andrea. All right. I will catch you later. Bye.